I want to see like a 3-way kiss with all of them. Just come in for a collective smooch.
Or a daisy chain.
Backdoors and Blindside starts now.
There's that theme that we know and love.
The Backdoors and Blindsides theme?
Yes. Produced by yours truly, featuring Julie Chen Moonves of Big Brother. But of course, what we're also referring to is the Survivor theme. Finally.
We get it.
I mean, they clearly heard our qualms and got their shit together. We get it. And we get the music, we get the flashes, we get some cool drone shots, and the closest close-ups I have ever. You can see Coach's fucking nose hairs.
Right up on him.
Why is it? Yeah, it's like this much. It's like eyebrows to chin.
I think the biggest, like the fullest body shot we get is like Savannah jumping off the platform, right?
Yeah. It's like supposed to be all action shots, and I guess like you brought up the other day, that could be why they waited, because like they don't want to quote unquote show spoilers, so like they're waiting for some action to actually happen in the show before they show this. But like, dude, we get Savannah jumping off of a pier, and then it's just like Kyle's eyes as wide as possible.
Kyle posted about
they did him so dirty,
and he was like, glad to see they got my horse mouth in there. Those were Kyle's own words about himself. And I was like, dude, like how shitty must that feel if you're on the show, you love it, you get axed like he did, and you're not even happy or excited about your own promo shot.
It's just your
intro.
Teeth. It's just his fucking teeth. Yeah, I feel bad for him.
I also saw Rob has a podcast. Rob C from Traders and obviously Survivor. He had a live podcasting event where they watched the episode.
Fun.
And then they did like a live podcast.
I'd love to get to that eventually.
Yeah. But there were people filming the intro from different points. It was a huge like auditorium that they were in. And so there was like a ton of people, I'd say like several hundred people there for this event.
Oh, whoa.
Huge, yeah. And I got based on a few different people that I follow, I got a few different angles of this. And people were absolutely popping for Sarib. They were so happy. Tiffany got a huge pop from the audience too, which was a little surprising. Like, love Tiff, but they're really not showing her a ton at all.
Do you know where he's based out of?
Rob C.
Yeah.
Nah, I don't know.
Maybe it's like similar hometowns or states.
I mean, Morgan
like
from last season of Big Brother was there, so I assume it's like a LA thing.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So we got definitely biggest pop for Suri, and it was just kind of like fun to see it through that lens.
Anyone get booed?
No, but it was awfully quiet for Jonathan's. Awfully quiet.
Yeah, the close-ups are it's interesting, especially when like we're showing, it's like supposed to be an action shot. So typically you want to see like a little upper body because someone is running or jumping or lifting something or clawing their way through mud. But look, I am not going to complain too much because this isn't a show about complaining. It's a show about how much we love TV. And we're just happy that sweet, sweet theme is once again on our televisions. And we are once again in your ears because this is Backdoors and Blindsides recapping Survivor 50, Episode 3. Did you vote for a swap? Our show opens with Camp Sela, the last of OG Sela that we'll see together.
Yeah, and don't forget, someday Christian's son. We'll see what happened at Tribal.
One day, my son, Jeffrey James Jones, will see this. I noticed he didn't say that when he was walking around with his shitty ass in the last episode.
He will see me absolutely yeet myself on the floor to create a diversion for someone to do something really cool.
He will see me make a crucial error at the tribe swap and try to fill in Emily at the last goddamn second. One day, my son, Ebenezer, will see this.
That's pretty good.
Again, we don't get anyone's feelings about the vote. We don't give a fuck that Savannah is gone.
No.
This is Christian and Devin's victory lap for pulling off what they're calling the heist. We aren't talking about the fallout of the vote at all. Everyone is as chipper as can be.
Well, because it was mostly unanimous.
Yes.
I mean, obviously Savannah voted for...
But I mean, we normally get at least like this is how it had to go, because we don't hear from people after they vote on the episode. They vote, person goes home, then we see the next time on Survivor. And then we get the credits, like the farewell from whoever got sent home. So we're not talking about any of that. It's a lot of people talking about how Christian fell, and then Devins and Christian secretly celebrating that they pulled it off. Right here, Devins says that he feels like Frank Ocean after the heist, which I believe is a rapper, because Danny Ocean is the character. But I love just a goofy ass dude. And he's just always...
Devins is fun to watch.
Is this the best alliance in the show right now?
Oh, absolutely.
It has to be, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
I just perk up whenever the two of them are on screen. And honestly, it's just as exciting that they're now working on different sides of the game right now.
Yeah, and I feel like especially after this particular episode with the tribe swap that comes, I feel like I'm like Charlie Day in Always Sunny. There's like a meme of him
with the clipboard or the cork board.
The cork board with all the red thread lines and the photos and stuff. I need one of these now with all of the potential alliances, the people who have relationships with one another, the people who are overlapping here, but also over here. And this kind of, I feel like what I see happening right now, if we get, a few more votes in, this almost mega alliance that's forming.
I would like to put out there that I think this show is a great example of that type of explanation. And I think that I'm going to brag a little bit.
I'm Charlie Day and just look at all this, guys. Yeah. Guys, don't you see?
But I do think that we try to break things down, alliances and the progression of the story in the game in like the most chapter-esque way possible.
Well, I was going to say the best way possible.
I mean, it is the best way. Like, we put a lot of work into formatting these episodes to make sure that we go in the format that makes the most sense to someone listening at home, and even makes sense for someone who may not actually be watching, because it's unbelievable. It's also amazing. People listen to the show without watching Survivor, which is sick, and we love you for that. Also, pretty good show, worth checking out. But Righteous Joe, finds a scroll in a tree that heavily implies that a tribe swap is coming. Christian and Devins decide now is the time to loop in Suri and Emily about this alliance that we're brewing, because they were already voting together at Camp Sela. They want to tell them about Aubrey's idol.
Right, that Christian found the Billie Eilish boomerang idol and then gifted it to Aubrey to create a ally in her, essentially.
Christian has the idea that when they go to Suri and Emily, Devins should be the one to kind of take charge, take lead, say, I found the idol, because he's Mr. Idol Hunter, and because he's already in with Aubrey from previous seasons. It's all Christian's idea, though.
This man, Christian, he comes off a little bit as goofy and, this brainiac that like maybe not 100% reads interpersonal social situations. He's offbeat a little bit, but he's charming and we love him for it, right? And he masks that. He uses that to mask this absolute strategy, game domination. Like, yes, he's good at puzzles. Yes, he's good at, not really great in this immunity challenge showing for him.
He's good at puzzles by himself, probably.
Sure. But he's able to have this like endearment about him that makes people feel less threatened by him.
He's charming as fuck.
He basically manipulates Devins for Devins to own this idea of finding the idol and giving it to Aubrey, because it'll be more believable from Devins' perspective. Like, of course Devins would gift Aubrey the idol. Might be weird if Christian's gifting Aubrey the idol. But then Christian is like so padded by this, because it's not his thing. He didn't do it, right? Oh, hands off, So Christian is, I think right now in this game, especially after the finish of this episode, is just so well aligned and absolutely padded. He is the inner circle to the inner circle to the inner circle. And what this also does and what's happening in this moment is, yes, they want to clue Emily and Suri on this information they have because eventually they want it to all benefit them, right? They want the power of the Aubrey's idol to kind of help them move along in the game. But what also is happening here, we're seeing Devins and Christian come together as a unit themselves, because we're not going to tell our allies the full truth, right? We love Emily, we love Suri, but there's a shell to this. There's it's like an onion, you know, and Christian's in the center, and then it's Christian and Devins, and then it's Emily and Suri, and then Ozzy's kind of over here, and then we're spiraling out even further with Christian's old game alliance, David versus Goliath, that we see with Angelina and Mike, that we'll get to later, but really is showing like an us versus them, but still contained within an alliance, which is beautiful.
Which is like kind of the best version of what this show can be.
Right.
At a lot of different times. Honestly, missed opportunity for Devins here when he says that he's Frank Ocean, that he featured on the 2016 classic Life of Pablo. We talk about how charismatic and just how like charming Christian is. So is Devins.
Oh, yeah.
And the two of them together are an incredibly charming pair, both to the camera and to other people around them. And if Devins got it right and said he was Frank Ocean, I think Christian and Devins together are Clooney and Pitt in those movies. Just two fucking smiley, chummy, you're glad to be around them guys, and they can really use that to their advantage. So they are still living out their Ocean's 11 dream.
Sure, but I do think Devins has a slight edge in a way that feels a little scary to some other people, because he has the history of finding all of these idols.
Mm-hmm.
So because he's wearing this, like, I'm Mr. Idol Man and I have advantages up my sleeve badge, and then it is further solidified via the lie that him and Christian come up with.
Right.
Like, it makes him feel like, I guess I want to work with him because I'm a little afraid of him. Like, I want to keep him a little closer.
Yeah, well, and that's kind of Christian's explanation when they first formed that alliance in episode 1. He says, I'm Mr. Spock and Devins is Captain Kirk. He goes on the away missions. He's in the action. I'm up on the Enterprise. As the science officer, I'm kind of calling the shots. I'm doing the thinking. I'm telling them what kind of moves. He kind of almost implies that he's the puppet master with him, which is amazing. And of course, he's a Spock guy. But we get to tell Suri about this. We don't get to Emily before they all go to meet Jeff in the jungle. And it's just because they can't get her alone while at camp. We go to the tribe swap, and at this point, it's day 7. We're going to try and keep up with the days a little better this time around, whenever we can. And here's Jeff. It's the challenge fake out again. I think, well, actually, hang on.
It's time to attack CBS production on Backdoors and Blindsides.
I think this is the same exact fake out set that they used for a tribe swap in 49.
I know they did this in 49, but I can't recall if that's the exact same set or not.
Almost positive it's the same shit. Like, Rizzo is walking into this going, I know what's up. I know what happens here. So we're all lined up, and Jeff asks them to pick up a rhythm and lay down some snaps. Give him a beat. And everyone's playing along. And all of a sudden...
Remember that one time I snapped at you?
Yeah, I do. And when was the last time you did it after that?
I was just talking about this with a friend.
Yeah, never again.
She was saying that her partner came up to her. We're talking about like being like overly stimulated.
Okay.
And she said her partner came up to her and put like his cold hand like on her skin when she was overstimulated. So she turned around and was like, "Stop," to him. And he was like, "Oh my God, I felt like a dog when you said that to me." And she just had all of the things going on. That's the only thing that she was able to get out. And I was like, yeah, that was the one time when you and I were in the grocery store and I was trying to get your attention. And I didn't mean it in a mean way. I was just like, oh, like he's down the aisle, and I snapped at you. And I realized my mistake because I saw the color drain from your face and you were pissed.
I was measured in my response.
It sure was, and I apologized for it. And I still don't think I have redeemed myself in the last like 5 years since it's happened.
Well, you just told the world that you did wrong, so I think this covers it.
Oh, is this, yeah.
Snapping is for sound checks, occasionally a pet, if warranted, and for laying down a sick beat for DJ Jazzy Jeff. Because bro starts rapping. Has
like,
Jeff
what
ever
the
rapped
fuck?
before? Do we know this?
No.
We
I
know
mean,
that he wrote like the fucking power metal song.
Yeah, he wrote this like song. I think he did it on like Kimmel or Fallon or something. Like he actually performed the song. And I found it because I was trying to find a song to play for one of our Survivor reels on Instagram. And this song popped up and it said, by Jeff Probst. And I was like, the fuck is this? And I listened to it. It's pretty bad. It's not, the singing career isn't a thing, but it's fun. And he's having a great time with it. And that's all we can ask.
I wonder if he got Katzman to play guitar on that. It kind of sounds
Ben
like
Katzman
a Ben Katzman
from
song
40,
too.
I
Charlie
can't remember.
season 46.
Yeah.
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 Our good friend, our good close personal friend, Ben Katzman. We saw him in concert.
Yeah, he dapped me up. It was
Fucking
great.
opened for King Buffalo.
Yeah.
Which was sick.
It
I
was
guess
great.
all the guys in King Buffalo, awesome psychedelic rock band. I guess they're all huge Survivor fans.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they wanted to bring him out on tour with them.
We
a
were
couple
up
years
next to the VIP area on like a balcony, and he finished his set and then walked up to see
he wanted to
his
see if
friends play.
I think he walked up to see if anyone in the balcony had seen Survivor and wanted to get.
This girl did.
Dude, you went for the high five and he lit up.
Survivor Ben, and he goes, hell yeah! We do a little
nice
thing.
guy,
Yeah.
nice
Really
guy,
great guy.
fun performer, nice guitars, all of that. So Jeff raps this fucking school teacher Sunday school beat, and I'm not gonna rag on him for it because it's
then
his
moving on then.
it's his show. I can't figure out Jeff Probst
Do
because
you
sometimes
think it was his idea?
dude, why would you do that on your show? It's his fucking show. If it wasn't his idea, you think that he would agree to doing it? Here's what I can't figure out about Jeff is like sometimes he has an edge that like no other host in his world has, where he's hanging off of the side of a fucking helicopter. They're dropping him on a cliff in the middle of the ocean. Like he is in the shit with his cast.
He's getting absolutely torrential downpour rain on while like Alan Cummings in Traders has his little umbrella, and
he has, such like confidence and presence when he's doing interviews, like this is my show. And he sometimes has kind of a hardened air around him. And then sometimes he's rapping like, how do you do, fellow kids? And it's very bizarre to me, but thankfully it's over quick. And the something
You're
line,
out of your
it's
misery
like,
quick.
shout out if you like eating muff because now it's time to drop your buffs or something. I'm pretty sure that's what he said.
I don't think
CBS.
that was the rap.
And indeed, he announces the tribe switch.
You think he was sitting there, like they were sitting in like Ponderosa, and he had like a couple like island margaritas in him, so, maybe a pina colada, maybe even mojito in there, and he goes, "Hey guys, what if I rapped?" And the other producers are like, what are you talking about?
Well, dude, no one's gonna tell him no. That's why I think it has to be his idea because
and he's like,
no one's gonna. Anyone else who's like, hey, this isn't. They're gonna shut up.
But
shut
he
up, shut up,
doesn't.
don't
He
tell them
doesn't pitch it to them as like a half-baked idea. He goes, "What if I rapped?" And they're like, he's like vibe checking them. They're like, "Oh, that could be fun." He'd be like, "Great," and he slaps down his whole written out line by line rhyming rap to them, and they're like, okay, I guess Jeff's rapping this episode.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think they're going out there on the boat, and everyone's looking at each other like, do you think he's actually gonna? Dude, shut up.
Here he goes.
And then he does it, and then they come back to, I don't know, whoever's on the night shift. They go, did he do the rap? Yeah, he did the rap thing. Oh fuck. But don't worry. Like I said, Jeff loves some Jeff, and that's definitely not getting cut.
We'll
from the
overlay
episode.
some music on it, some backtrack. It'll be fine.
Right before the actual switch, as they are all dropping their actual buffs, Christian whispers in Emily's ear that Aubrey has an idol. We just found it last night and we gave it to her, and it's a Billie Eilish boomerang idol, and I'm Mr. Spock. And she goes, what?
She goes, what?
And then
an idol?
Yeah,
huh?
she doesn't hide it very
well. It was
well.
giving like you're sitting at a table at a restaurant and you see someone crazy do something, or maybe they have like something crazy going on at their table, and you lean over the table and whisper to your friend, you're like, hey, don't turn around now, but behind you, this person is doing this. And your friend's just like, what? Who? Which one? And you're like, God fucking damn.
Yeah.
Oh, fucking damn.
Yeah.
she just cannot understand what's happening. All this information coming at her too fast. And then behind her in the frame of Christian whispering to Emily, you just have like Joe standing there and he's like, what's happening right here? But notice that you did not see Joe break them up and scold them for whispering. You're not allowed to whisper.
Well, because all Joe is doing is staring into the eyes longingly of Coach. Just give me with Coach, give me with Coach, give me with Coach. I want to kiss him. I want to hug him. I want to kiss him. I love him. Kiss.
But I'm expecting Joe to have a reaction to this, and he doesn't. And I guess he can't really have one because they're split up. He doesn't get a chance to confront them on it.
And he knows that they were working together in some capacity, but she is not given enough context. I think that this is a mistake on Christian's part. There is a chance that there is a 2 in 3 chance that she ends up on a tribe with one of you, either you or Devon's. And if she doesn't, figure it out at the merge,
I think the predictability, the like chances of that are even more like minute.
I guess you're right.
Than that, because who, like, is she going to be on a tribe with Devon's or Sari or Christian? Is she going to be on a tribe with Aubrey? Is she just going to be completely by herself with none of her allies and not even Aubrey on there? So it wouldn't even matter.
I think you cut your losses. You figure that she'll learn about it eventually. You hope that she ends up on a tribe with one of the other 3 of you. And then you move on. But she goes into a panic. We have our swap incoming. Charlie speaks up and is a little annoyed about all of the fan choices. No rice, the tribe swap this early.
It kind of feels like Survivor players versus Survivor fans.
Absolutely.
Like heroes versus villains, but the heroes are the Survivor players and the villains are the fans.
I'm positive that all of the voters are voting basically against their players.
When I voted, I wanted to give them rice. I didn't want a tribe swap.
Really?
I didn't want this.
Oh, okay. So a lot of these are voting against.
I'm over the tribe swaps 18,000 times in a season.
You're smarter than most people.
You could just stop there. I'm just smarter.
Like a lot people don't. I would say the common viewer is not thinking about quality of the show. They're, I have a toy. I get to play in the Survivor sandbox, so I'm just going to fuck with everyone.
No, it's just they're playing God with a magnifying glass and an anthill. That's what they're doing right now.
It's just like when on the movie show, people in the past have they get an opportunity to request a movie for us to watch.
Your Other Woman podcast.
Yes, my multiple mistresses, the FFS. And a lot of times, well, it's kind of split, but you could basically do it 2 ways. The way that I think is the best way is they pick a movie that would probably be really good fodder for the show. It would make for a good discussion, maybe some good riffing.
You're talking about your fans and listeners.
It could be, listeners. It could be divisive between the hosts. A lot of the time, or at least historically in the past, people have requested things that they know are just going to be annoying to watch. Because it's like, ha 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 ha,
Let me
I
laugh
have power.
At you suffering.
Because most of the people that consume the product actually hate the people on the product. There's an innate, deep down, there is a resentment towards the people in front of the microphone, in front of the camera. Everyone has it. I mean, shit.
Even as we're speaking, I'm resenting you right now.
Exactly. We just ragged on Jeff we love Jeff Probst, so we just ragged on him for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
You know why? Because he's got it all and we have a chance to do it. So I think that's what the nature is behind these fan votes. They're like, ooh, I get to fuck with people now because haha. And then people are going to walk up to Charlie. Here's why Charlie's fucked is now forever. People are going to go up to him and be like, oh, I voted for the tribe swap. I voted for no rice. Like, I want to make sure that you know that I got one over on you, Charlie.
But he also says he voted for the tribe swap.
And then Christian raises his hand, kind of outing himself here, says, did you vote for a tribe swap? And he goes, yes. So that's funny. I wonder if Jeff has everyone's results and uses that in these scenarios, because that would be pretty funny, especially if one person voted differently than the rest of the cast.
We do get a random buff draw, which we did not get for the original tribes. That was production orchestrated.
I wanted you to ask about that.
But
Jeff has 2 baskets,
yeah,
one in each hand, and he's kind of alternating back and forth which basket he's presenting to the player. Is there a method behind this? Is he trying to line it up in a certain way, or do you think it is still at random?
I mean, you'd like to think it's at random, but you only see what were allowed to see. So they could have sat there and picked all of their buffs, and then they had a moment of breakdown and they said, all right, Charlie, you're actually going to swap yours with Joe's, and you're going to do that. Like, you don't know what's happening.
True.
You don't know what's happening when the cameras aren't on. You barely know what's happening when the cameras are on these people, and still is manipulated and Frankenstein in a way. So who knows how random these tribes are.
Would you like to hear the new tribes?
Let's do it by, we can get right into the Steela tribe, and let's, do it tribe by tribe.
By camp?
By camp as we talk about the
Look
camps.
at you running the show, picking up momentum, trimming all the fat. I love that.
Because if you just spew a bunch of names at me, I can barely remember anyone's name.
No,
and then
you're
you're just
right.
going to say them all at me at once.
So
I don't want that.
Allow me to spew 7 names at you right now.
Okay, great.
The new Steela camp is Charlie, Dee, Rizzo, Kamilla, Jonathan, Suri, and Devins. So here's the breakdown. OG Kahlo has the majority here. Dee, Jonathan, Kamilla, and Charlie are a foursome coming in from their old tribe. We also have Suri and Devins coming from OG Steela, not just as fellow tribe members, but aligned. They
Right.
were already working together. And the man, the myth, the legend, R-I-Z-G-O-D, Riz God Baby, is alone on an island. And this is the first time that Rizzo in Survivor has ever been completely alone, because he very quickly bonded with like Savannah and Nate, right, in season 49. And then even going into 50, like Colby warmed up to him quickly. He had Kyle, he had Q, like he had people who were already kind of into his whole bit, and now he is completely alone. I think it could be a good thing for him, because I think it was pretty clear on Vatu, well, and we learned later on that he was going to be next, or they wanted him out first because he just didn't have the history that everyone else had.
Right. And we had Dee and Kamilla kind of working together in their old tribe with Tiff. We didn't really get, I don't even know what Charlie was doing. He was doing fuck all over there with his whatever he was doing.
We didn't get a lot of Charlie at all.
I know. And then we have Jonathan, which he was coming for Dee, so we'll see how that shakes out.
But interesting enough, they seem to be working pretty closely together in this episode.
He
and
goes to her,
definitely
he's
at this
like,
merge.
he's trying to work with her. I'm like, hello, sir. You were just going to get her out because she's a strong, powerful, winning ass woman. And you couldn't have your ego.
Well, you know what it is now. She is the second strongest player on that tribe.
Absolutely.
Everyone else is more strategic than physical. So he is going to go, it's the default option for him.
Right.
He is going to align with strength over, I guess, gender. I don't know, his alleged prejudice.
Yeah.
So he goes to Dee. They're syncing up, and Dee tells him, I love Suri, but I think that's a bad thing.
Well, you also have Dee saying in a confessional that before she even got out to Survivor, her friend told her, hey, if you're with Suri, you have to get her out as soon as possible.
And that's also Meg's advice.
That is also my advice.
Are you friends with Dee?
Yes. She's
Can I get Bonanza's number?
Bonanza's.
Bonanza's number?
Yeah. I didn't check. I didn't know. I don't know if Dee and Johnny Bananas from the challenge, if they're still together or not. That will be some fun homework I'll do afterwards to bring to our next episode. But
it sounds like she has her sights on Suri.
yeah, but like she doesn't want to. She likes Suri. Again, Suri is on this brand new tribe, and the Suri hypnosis mist is already settling in.
The maiden of the mist.
Dee fucking knows better. Dee knows better. But her heart, on the other hand, wants to be friends with. Who wouldn't want to be friends with Suri?
I know.
Who wouldn't want to be friends with her?
It's so beautiful.
And that's how she won Traitors. That's how she made it so far on Big Brother. And obviously that's how she's made it as far as she has on Survivor and all the seasons that she's played. She's too lovable. She's too lovable. And she gets in. But that is my one biggest piece of advice. If you're playing with Suri, you got to get her out as soon as possible. Just don't let Suri find out. Jenna, Savannah.
Right. As we said last episode, the two people that were throwing Suri's name out, even when Suri lost them the immunity challenge, they went home. So if Dee knows anything, she knows to keep that close to herself until the opportunity. And she won her season. She plays the challenge. I think that she has the instincts and the intelligence to wait until it's right, because you've said this before. If you go for Suri, it has to hit. If it doesn't hit, you're fucked.
The biggest difference between the challenge and Survivor, on the challenge, you can be really close with someone, have a really good ally in someone, but they just kind of comp out, meaning that they bombed the daily challenge and now they're up for elimination and they lose an elimination. And you have nothing really to do with that entirely, right? It's based on someone's own performance to a certain extent on the challenge. Whereas Survivor, like, okay, maybe I want to bring Suri along because she isn't the most physically competitive person. So when we are hanging on to a pole for God knows how long in an individual immunity challenge, I think I can beat her, and she's also a number for me. So I want to keep her around, right? But that's the beauty of her. That's what makes her so appealing. That's how she stays in. So we'll see how that plays out. But on the topic of Suri, she is not about Rizzo. She's not here for it. And you get Rizzo being like, I met you once. And she's like,
yes.
Oh, yeah. He's like, you remember? She's like, nah, I don't remember.
The saga of Rizzo fanboying out continues as, he is now on a tribe with an absolute legend of the game and is outing himself as that. But again, like most of the time, I think this charms people. I think he just played it a little strong because he doesn't, his energy does not deplete the way that it might for others this early in the game. It's been a full week. They've been out there for a week already.
Yeah. The thing with Rizzo, though, he played 49 fast, loose. Everyone knew where his cards were on the table. And that's why he was dangerous, because he was just kind of playing in your face, taunting you, being like, what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? Right? He can't play this game here. He's got to keep his fucking mouth shut. Keep your mouth shut. And he makes the mistake of talking to the tribe, talking about 49, right? None of these players know how he did, what it was like on 49. No one has watched it yet, right? So he's telling his tribe that he voted against his number one in the end to have someone else win, which is a little confusing for me. We had to rewind this because I was a little confused. Because if you go back to 49, you have the Tres Leches Alliance, which was Rizzo, Savannah, and Sophie. And
Sophie Bellerdi, yeah.
And I say it in that way, in that order, because it really was Rizzo and Savannah together on their tribe. And then once they merged, they kind of brought Sophie in, and then they linked up, and then they're friends afterwards still to this day. But in the moment, Survivor 49 was pitching it like Rizzo and Savannah are each other's number ones, and Sophie...
Together, they were the biggest threat.
They pulled in Sophie, and Sophie was kind of debating there, does she want to go against this new alliance that she has, or this like solidified alliance that she has, right? So the fact that he is calling Sophie his number one and saying that he voted against his number one for Savannah to win, I was just like, whoa, hold up. What was happening in the editing room with Survivor 49 for that to be pitched in a way? Because in no way, if I thought it was do or die, if Rizzo actually had to cut somebody, it was always going to be Sophie. And so of course Rizzo voted for Savannah to win because Savannah was his number one.
Also,
so I'm really confused by this as a watcher and a viewer of this who watched 49 and is now watching what's happening in 50.
And a little more context, Sophie won final immunity that season, and she didn't take Rizzo.
No.
She took Sage because Rizzo said, I don't want to pitch myself against Savannah in the finale. I want to go to fire with Savannah. I want to lose in the most honorable... By the way, that's fucking honorable, Joe. I want to lose in the most honorable way. I want to go to fire. And
he thought he was winning fire.
He did.
He
did. So it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But if he says that she's his number one, she is, right? Maybe they were just besties off camera on like a more personal level, and gameplay was gameplay.
Yes, it was confusing, but he absolutely shoots himself in the foot with this comment because, hold on a second, You're telling me, as a Survivor 50 player, we're all on the island together, I'm trying to build a relationship with you. I have no fucking idea who you are. And you're telling me that if we want to be close, we can be each other's number ones, but you might set my game on fire in the last minute possible if you're so feeling like it.
And particularly this
Charles.
burns Charlie. And I did a little refreshing homework. Charlie went to the finale in his season 46, and most of that season, his number one was Maria, and they ran that tribe from a strategic standpoint, and eventually they started to turn on each other, but it was in secret, and Charlie ended up pulling off the blind side first. When it came time to vote in the final, or final is the challenge and other shit, in the finale, Maria voted against Charlie. And now he lost by 3. It was a 5-3 vote. So he lost by 2, or technically 3, I guess. But it seems like he's bringing that scorn into this situation with Rizzo, where it's like...
Rizzo asks him point blank about it. Like, oh, do you still talk to Maria?
More fanboying.
And he's like, nah, I don't.
Like, dude, so like more fanboying, you're poking what's clearly a sore subject, what Charlie seems to believe is the reason he lost his season.
Right. So if you're trying to link up with Charlie, why are you telling Charlie a horror story in which you were the perpetrator in a very similar situation where Charlie was the quote unquote victim? Like, that doesn't make me feel safe with you as if I'm Charlie.
So Rizzo tries to build trust with Charlie. He clearly wants to work with him, and he tells him
he's trying to play ball with Charlie.
He tells him about Ozzy's idol, the idol that Genevieve sent over, which I guess I missed when Rizzo learned about that, because he didn't see her find it on the beach.
Well, because they pulled Rizzo into the majority alliance once Kyle was
when
medevac.
they were talking about like Angelina and stuff like that. You're right. So he tells Charlie about Ozzy's idol. Pretty soon everyone's
Charlie's
gonna know about that
flabbers
shit.
are absolutely gasted. He's like, what? No way. Billie Eilish, Boomerang, Idol. Rizzo's telling me, what?
He puts on a show, a damn good one, because he says, yeah, kid, I'll work with you. Thanks for letting me know. Kid, I think they're the same age. And he tells the camera, because of what Rizzo admitted about voting Savannah instead of Sophie, he said, I don't want him within an inch of a jury seat.
Yeah.
Meaning he's gone before the merge. He's the first target.
Fuck with him.
Which, I mean, out of that group, I don't know, dude. Charlie is in the majority. Suri and Devins are smart. They're vets. It doesn't look good for Rizzo here. He better hope that they keep winning that immunity, which, I mean, they have good odds, especially with Jonathan and Dee.
I think it's going to, on that tribe, if they ever go to tribal together as a unit, I think it's going to look real interesting for the tribe with Rizzo and Suri.
I think so. Yeah. I think those might be the cases that are made. Let's move on to the new Kahlo camp.
And I will say, before we move on, I will say Suri is lucky that they don't go to tribal.
Oh, yeah.
Because she is able to permeate her mist around.
Well, that's why it was looking dark for her in the very first episode, because going on day 1 or day 2 or whatever, she hasn't had that chance
She
yet.
just needs a few days to hypnotize people into her.
And that's why we had doubt for a second, because it's like that would be the only chance that you could have.
Right. That's why I say you got to do it immediately before you get all wrapped into Suri's appeal. Yeah.
So the new Kahlo camp is Aubrey, Joe, Genevieve, Coach, Chrissy, Colby, and Tiffany. This is, I think, the most hodgepodge, the most variety sprinkled around a tribe.
We start off with this old guy alpha alliance that's going to be a thing with the Joe and the Coach and the Colby and the honor and integrity.
The John Cena alliance, strength, commitment, honor, all that stuff.
Who fucking cares?
Yeah. They're waving towels. They're doing Make-A-Wishes. Joe is excited for Coach and Colby and their, quote, good core values.
I want to see like a 3-way kiss with all of them. Just come in for a collective smooch.
Or a daisy chain. Could go any way.
Oh,
we could see that on CBS.
What is that?
You want me to, do you know what it is?
I don't know what it is.
I believe that's when we're forming, I guess it would be kind of like a triangle. And
the hand motion you did was square.
Well, here.
We're not talking about this.
Well, I don't want to flash.
This.
I don't want to flash the triangle into the camera. That's going to get us on a fucking list.
Oh, true.
So
Illuminati.
I think that's we're forming a circle, triangle, whatever you want to call it, and we're all
okay.
Which is metaphorically what's happening already at this camp.
Yes, absolutely.
How about we'll call them the Daisy Chain Alliance. I'm gonna coin that.
Okay.
I don't know if we can title the episode.
Okay. Yeah, I've never heard of this before, so thank you for enlightening me and all of our listeners.
So he loves their good core values, and Coach is all over Joe because of his honor and integrity. And goddamn, they're gonna drop this shit every episode until Joe goes home.
No, I need Coach home too because he's also mad with Ozzy about his honor and integrity. Ozzy's mad with Coach's honor and integrity and blah, blah, blah. I could give two shits about anyone's honor and integrity. Play the goddamn game.
Some more interesting history or a part of this dynamic is that Coach beat Colby in a very physical 1v1 challenge. It was like basically like a wrestling sumo type match.
And we get a little snippet of that challenge from their season. And I'm like, this is what I want to see. These are the challenges I want to see. I don't want to see the 18 different step challenges where you have to crawl under, jump over, hoist up and run up and build a puzzle and then throw the thing. And I want to see some good old mud wrestling or like make them want it. I want to see the drive.
And this is heroes versus villain, what we're referring to. And it damaged Colby's pride. I mean, that's like, you really lost in a true like feats of strength.
Yes.
But yeah, it would be great to see something that intense. That's the thing is like a lot of these multi-step challenges kind of lack intensity.
Yeah. I think it's overall complacency with the product, with the Survivor product in general, which I think happened once they made Fiji their 100% home.
Yeah.
I loved them bouncing around to different locations, right? We have Pearl Islands, we have Africa, we
Philippines,
have
Ecuador.
We have all of these different ones that like have a little bit of an edge to them because it's not 100% predictable as far as climate and those other things go. I think it speaks more to like the like survivalist side of things, like like the show Alone, where they go out and basically live in the wilderness by themselves. It kind of played a little bit more into that actual bushcraft person, but I think it gets a little complacent. It's great for them because they can rinse and repeat. They have these challenges out in the middle of the jungle they've leveled the forest already in a field to have, and they can just let it sit there for a while until they need it again, right? Like it makes it easy for them because they have a home base. But I think from a viewer perspective, it gets a little stale, and we've seen that with some of these challenges.
Coach tells Chrissy that I want to spend a little time on this. Coach pulls Chrissy aside because they come from the same tribe. He tells her she needs to compose. He does one of these. He does the I'm getting ready to go out on stage fucking theater thing. He says you need to compose, you need to settle down. You're talking too much. Fuck you, dude. What an asshole.
I do. So, yes, but I think he was meaning well. I think he kind of wants to work with Chrissy. I think
You think so?
I think it's like an old heads kind of thing, right? Like they have their Daisy Chain Alliance or whatever you coined it. But I think
69-6 Alliance.
Yeah, but I think they need, I'm not even going to go there. They want Chrissy in for the majority, and she's like an older player, so they can relate to them. So I think he's actually trying to help her in a way like, hey, like just not to use the R word, relax. No one needs to be told relax, right?
That's a bad move.
Bad move. But that's basically what he's telling her. And I think she's just I don't think she's upset with him necessarily. I think she's upset with the fact of the matter, right? She didn't even realize what was happening. And he tells her this, and they immediately cut to her confessional. She's bawling her eyes out. I'm like, no,
dude,
Chrissy,
it's heartbreaking.
no.
Look, and like, I guess the edit, there is a cut. I need more context from Coach. I need him to explain exactly why he's saying that and how it plays into the game.
Well, my perception of it is that he wants to work with her. He wants to make sure that she has a good position in this new tribe. And in order to do that, she needs to stop with the helicopter momming everyone.
But at the same time, that's the viewer's perception. Like, it's not, it's all about, dude, it's communication, it's semantics, it's being clear in your intentions. And I think that it's very easy to take this in a way that I don't like how intense you are, and I need you to be less intense. And I'm kind of sensitive to that. And I think that that's a really shitty attitude to have. Like, just because vibes don't, the way I took it is like, vibes don't match. Sure, maybe he does want to work together. I acknowledge that. They could both be true. It could be, I want to work with you, but I need you to tone it down because I don't really like the way that you do things. And I think that fucking sucks.
Meanwhile, she's trying to massage his old man calf because he can't swim in the ocean.
Fuck you, dude. He's like, oh, I need you to tone it down a bit. Why don't you go cry again about your fucking life-threatening cramp? Dude, I don't know. I think that he needed to give way more context, even if he didn't mean it that way. He comes across as a huge asshole, and I think you should know better that that runs the risk of really like hurting someone, which it does. And I don't think it helps his chances of working with her.
And I don't think it really helps her mindset either, because her head's now a little fucked with, right? We see her on the beach with Aubrey and Genevieve, the two people, of course, that are kind of at each other's throats already, but maybe Chrissy will unite them. She's crying on the beach about the fact that here we go again. I'm feeling like I'm not liked again in Survivor. Why do I keep coming out and putting myself in situations where people don't like me? She doesn't say, guys, get a load of this. You won't believe what Coach bitched at me about, right? She's saying, I can't believe I'm in the same position again and people don't like me. Why?
Yeah, it's fucking sad. And they do have this nice moment where we don't really see an alliance built, but they have this, it's an interesting trio, right? Because Genevieve and Aubrey were already kind of at odds in their previous
for a moment
camp.
there, when the tribe swap was revealed, I'm like, all right, Aubrey and Genevieve, you kind of need to maybe start working together. Can you get your shit together? Can you link up? Can we start being on the same page to get this, alliance potentially out that's forming? Because listen, this is what's going to happen. We're going to have Aubrey and Genevieve go at each other. Why do we know this? Because Genevieve is running her yap around camp saying Aubrey this, Aubrey that, literally going to every single person. We had a supercut basically.
She makes the runs,
of her going to every single person being like, gotta watch out for Aubrey. And she makes the mistake of telling Tiffany, because Tiffany goes back to Aubrey and says, hey girl, they're coming for you. And Genevieve is leading this crusade against you right now. And Aubrey's like, I'm not going to cry, but that means a lot. And basically solidifies Aubrey and Tiffany working together. So it's very interesting that we have two different people. We have Tiffany and we have Coach coming to other players to tell them information, Aubrey and Chrissy respectively, that, hey, your game is not going great. And I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to throw you a lifeline right now. So it's interesting this happened twice with two different people on the same tribe.
Here's Genevieve's mistake. She came over to this new tribe with Aubrey and Colby from the original Vatu tribe. Coach, Chrissy, and Tiffany came from the OG Kalo tribe, so they're staying where they are. If you've already had these talks with, say it's Coach, right? She goes to Coach pretty quickly, but she's talking to Chrissy, right? Because Chrissy comes to her. Why don't you vibe check your other players? Because she decides to go to every other person besides Aubrey, and I think that's a huge gamble considering that they're all coming from different places. Maybe Tiffany is at odds with Chrissy and Coach, right? And so that's where I think if you're meeting with Chrissy or Coach first, you go, hey, what's up with Tiffany? Should I clue her into this, or should we leave her in the dark for now?
Yeah, and that builds trust with the person that you're talking to, right? Because it's like, oh, they're trusting me enough to come and ask me about the vibe check, right? So Yeah, I kind of some sloppy gameplay. I think a little bit
She's on a bit of a power trip. I think
too early. Again, you don't know if you're going to go to tribal or not tonight. So why are we doing all of this hardcore plotting? Right now, we should be planting light seeds. We should do some light seeding and some light. Maybe not even seeding yet. Maybe we're aerating the ground.
Yeah.
We're doing some aerating. We're poking some holes in some things, and then we're going to slowly start planting the seeds and watering it from there. But instead, she's just like, she's digging a hole and planting her tree right in.
Before we do any seeding or watering, we should probably get that giant chain out of the yard. Tiffany tells Aubrey about Genevieve's plans, and they decide they want her gone. So now we have a two-person alliance of Tiffany and Aubrey, and their sights are on Genevieve if they get the chance.
This is a mistake to me. This is a mistake because listen, when they showed the tribe swap happening and they're all lined up, you had Joe, Coach, and Colby standing in the back, and then you have Aubrey, Tiffany, Genevieve, and Chrissy in the front. And I go, clear women's alliance that could happen right now, right? Taking out these bigger, older male threats, if you will. That's the thing that's always so scary in these competition reality TVs. What if the women unite and they have an alliance? We can't let that happen, right? And there's even women won't let that happen. We've seen every time there's a women's alliance brought up, I'm like, oh my God, here we go again, right? They're going to just eat each other alive. This is just a joke at this point. But almost for a second, I said, wow, if Aubrey and Genevieve can get their fucking shit together and actually be a dynamic, powerful duo that runs this game, because they very clearly could, they can easily pull in Tiffany and Chrissy. Right?
Right.
Because
and then you've got an alliance with at least one of the other dudes that came from one of these other tribes. It could be Coach, it could be Colby.
No, you don't fucking need them. You don't need the men. You don't need the penises. Penises can go do their little daisy chain off in the corner, and the women can run the shit.
They're occupied.
Yeah, they're occupied over there. So what's going to happen, mark my words right now, is we're going to get the Aubrey and Genevieve going at each other. One of them's going to leave, and then we're going to have Tiffany and Chrissy and whoever's left of the Aubrey Genevieve feud. I could see it going either way right now. People are like, yeah, Aubrey's dangerous. And then, oh no, Genevieve's more dangerous because she's going around telling all this stuff to us and she's playing a more flashy game, right? So we want Genevieve out maybe. Then you're going to have 3v3, 3 women versus the 3 Daisy Chain Alliance. And then they're going to be like, oh, well, Chrissy's kind of weak, or Aubrey's kind of weak, or Genevieve's kind of weak. I don't know. And then they're going to get one of them out. And then now you're going to have Joe, Coach, and Colby running this tribe. That's what's going to happen. No ladies. No ladies. I need the honor integrity out. Work to get them out. Please.
It's not looking good for your hopes, unfortunately. Another place where it starts to look grim is the Vatu camp, the new Vatu tribe, which is Christian, Emily, Mike, Stephanie, Ozzy, Q, and Angelina. Mike is completely alone coming into this new tribe from OG Kalo. On paper.
Is he?
On paper, looking at just current tribes and where people came from in this game in the last week. Mike is the only person coming from OG Kalo.
But comparatively, with Rizzo's position on the new Sela tribe, Mike is way better off than Rizzo is. No one knows who Rizzo is. He's by himself. Yeah. And now Mike is like, oh yeah, we have David and Goliath, my old players on that season, Christian and Angelina, and Ozzy was his favorite restaurant manager, I guess. Angelina was on the White Lotus. He cast her in his show, and they even had a little clip of that on Survivor, which is interesting, seeing another show being featured on Survivor, which you talked a little bit last time about WWE not mentioning or recognizing AEW in the past. This is Survivor now opening up. Not that the White Lotus is a direct competitor of them. Obviously, it's a scripted show, but you're seeing a little bit of overlap in some of these other shows. And that was shocking to me as a viewer, seeing some White Lotus embedded in Survivor.
Well, now it's, why? It's because those motherfuckers now own that shit. CBS is Paramount. You know what White Lotus is? HBO. which is Warner Brothers.
Ooh,
It's all under one umbrella,
realize
which is
that.
why we're all fucked into a toilet. So Mike is alone, but he does know pretty much everyone on this tribe.
Yeah.
So he has that advantage. Q, Ozzy, and Emily link up. Q decides that he wants to give them all of the details on the OG Vatus. So that would be
the boomerang idol.
That would be Angelina, Stephanie, and Emily shifts away in this moment from targeting Ozzy like she had been the last couple of days because she wants to build on his bond with Q. They were in exile together on night 1, so they've got something going. She sees this. It's a physical duo. It's Ozzy. It's realizing, okay, this is maybe a time to just lay low and work with him for the time being.
And this is where everything starts unraveling for Emily. Classic Emily that we see happening right now. She is a brilliant person. Brilliant. But sometimes it's to her own detriment.
She's squirrely.
She is too squirrely. And this, kids, let this be a lesson of if you have a problem with someone, just go to that person and talk about the problem. Because this whole fucking thing that transpired could have been solved immediately if she just went up to Christian and be like, Christian, what the fuck was that on the mat? Right? If she was alone on a tribe by herself without Christian, sure, go be squirrely. You're confused. Yeah. You have no opportunity to get clarity. What do I do with this information? I don't know what's going on. He's right there. He's right fucking there. And guess what? No one would think twice if Christian and Emily went and talked with each other because they're from their old tribe together. And it's like, oh, they're just over there linking up, talking about, are we good on this new tribe? They may or may not be, right? But instead, right, this woman is so brilliant. She's so strategic. She sees all the puzzle pieces for where they are, but she can't see going over to Christian first and asking him what the fuck.
And this is now the second episode in a row that Christian is covered in shit, but not this time by his own doing, but in fact Emily climbing up a tree and dropping an H-bomb on his head.
A metaphorical shit on him, if you will. So Emily goes to Ozzy and Q and says, hey, I don't trust Christian right now at all. Meanwhile, Christian was trying to build the utmost trust with Emily and solidify this power alliance, the cross-tribe power alliance that was happening, right? So she says that I don't trust him because he's telling me this information last minute. Oh yeah, what does he tell me? He tells me there's a boomerang idol and he gave it to Aubrey and Aubrey has it.
And this is the moment where we paused the TV and had to each take a lap around the house because we realized that she has now unraveled all of this work that Christian has put in.
No, because if Christian was actually trying to, in what scenario is Christian trying to make her game worse? Right? Yeah, you might be a little sussed out that he told you such last minute, but clearly he didn't have a chance to yet, that you'll find out later. But you got to sit back and think for a second, right? If I'm Emily, how is me knowing Aubrey has an idol a bad thing for my game? It's not.
Not
it's
in
a
any
good
way.
thing. I know information now. He is sharing information with me. Am I a little annoyed at the point in which the information is being shared? Yes, but he's sharing it with me because he might not have another chance to. So I'm just like, no, what the fuck are you doing? So Q in this moment also is like, great, bet. Emily's on our side. We're gonna, Q's like, I have Ozzy and I have Stephanie and now we have Emily and we're gonna go against Angelina.
Right. Because that was the plan on the last tribe.
It was the plan on the last tribe. She was lazy. Q didn't fuck with it. We want Angelina out. And the way that Q is speaking to Emily with Stephanie now in the picture, he is basically just dictating to Emily what's going to happen, which is unfair to Emily because Emily is like, hey, I'm extending an olive branch against someone who I thought was one of my closest allies, and I don't feel that way anymore in Christian, and I'm coming to you with this information. We're going to band together and we're going to work together, right, guys? And they basically go, thanks, Emily. They're there. You can sit down now. We're in the driver's seat. And she kind of catches on to this, and she's like, I don't think I'm in the inn like I thought I
No.
was going to be.
With that valuable piece of information, it was congrats, you're in the club now at the very utmost bottom.
Right.
Like immediately they tell her that she's on the bottom.
That piece of information bought you into the club. You are not in the VIP area.
Yeah.
Not in the VIP area, girl. Sorry. And you even hear this in Q's confessional where he says, you know, I guess we can throw Emily in because I need her vote. And I'm like, damn, that sucks for Emily that Q's talking about her like that. And again, she's brilliant. So she realizes
she catches on really
that
fast.
this is not going the way that she thought it was. So then she goes to Angelina and she goes, Angelina, guess what? Ozzy, Q, Stephanie, remember those two people that you were real close with on your tribe? You thinking you're in a minority situation on this tribe now? You're not. You're going to go home.
Literally
They're
tells
coming
her
for you.
everything.
Everything.
She says, this is everything that I heard from Stephanie and Q. This is where Ozzy's game is at. This is how I fucked over Christian. Also, this is what Christian told me. So now she also tells Angelina that Aubrey has an idol.
And it also cuts to her saying, I don't know if I want to work with Angela or not. And Angelina is like, oh, well, this is a great olive branch that Emily's throwing out. Like, she's saving me right now, right? And I'm still like, oh my God, Emily is digging herself a deeper hole.
So where does she go next?
She goes to Christian.
She goes to Christian and comes clean. She tells him, hey, I fucked up. I told some people about the idol. And there is such a great natural moment where we're not delivering one-liners for the camera. He goes, okay, who knows? And she just goes, them. Them.
Everyone.
Everyone.
Honestly, too, poor Aubrey. Should she ever make it to the merge with this big group of people?
She's now a giant target.
Huge target, right? Like that, and that was kind of the point of the boomerang idol and why Genevieve gave it to Ozzy, because she can leak the information and Ozzy can go home with an idol in his pocket and she can get right. If I were Aubrey, and Aubrey can be the only person to use this idol, don't forget. She can't give it to anyone. She can't use it on anyone else. And same with Ozzy. If I'm Aubrey and I realize everyone knows if I have an idol, I'm just using it the first tribal council. Get this target off of me. It's bad juju. Get away from me. And poor Aubrey on a second level, because she has no idea everyone knows that she has an idol. So they're all showing up to the mat for immunity challenges and shit. And everyone's looking at Aubrey like, I know you have an idol.
Right.
Right?
Aubrey is on the one tribe where she doesn't have anyone who could clue her into what's going on.
Yeah. But Christian, in this moment when Emily is telling him that I blew up our entire spot, my bad, Christian's like, okay, we can get through this. Directly to Emily. And then we get his confessional. He goes, I'm pissed. What the fuck?
Well, why
basically.
wouldn't you be? But
yeah.
He handles it so gracefully.
In the moment, yes. And
yes.
even in the confessional, he's like, I'm pissed, but we're going to work through it.
Right. He's like, upset, but he composes himself.
Yes.
He takes coach's advice. He pivots. It's like he has his moment. Fuck. And then he pivots back into game mode and says, all right, how are we going to get out of this? He brings Emily into his David versus Goliath alliance, which is Christian, Mike, and Angelina. So with Emily, that makes them a foursome, and that does make them the majority in the tribe, so long as Emily votes with them.
And Emily also has an opportunity to pull in Ozzy and maybe protect him too, right? Ozzy's right now leaning more towards the Stephanie Q alliance, which makes sense for him because if he thinks he has Emily, then now they have the majority, right? But I think Emily still wants to kind of foster that relationship with Ozzy a little bit, hopefully, because too, if they're looking at the bigger picture and you have your core four of Christian, Devins, Emily, and Sari. Sari's big fan of Ozzy. She does probably not going to want to go against him. So we pull Ozzy in, and now in a merge situation, we have a majority alliance.
Something I want to make note of that we don't actually touch on in the show, and then we'll move on to the immunity challenge. Q and Stephanie know that Ozzy has an idol.
Mm-hmm.
Ozzy doesn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm interested to see if we get anything from Stephanie in the next episode that she's wise to Ozzy's idol and if she's going to use that in any particular way, because, well, I'll save that for the end of the show. We go to the immunity challenge. It is day 8. One tribe member is the caller. They are on top of a podium.
By the way, I know we were just going back and we're like, oh, we can't believe they're doing the same stuff as 49. Here we are in 50. It should be the bit. I love these challenges because we talked last time. The funniest things are people shitting themselves, throwing up, and falling.
Falling down, yeah.
The fourth honorable mention there, people's noggins getting bonked.
Yeah, bonking the noggins pretty good.
We got some bonking noggins happening in this episode.
Yeah, as long as it's not like Bruce, like actually fucking himself up for the entire game, which is brutal. The collar is up on top of a podium. The rest of their tribe are blindfolded and put into pairs. The collar guides all of the pairs at once across an obstacle course, through obstacles to collect keys, and then leads them all. Once all 3 keys are returned to the podium, all 3 are they become the line leader.
Yeah, basically like a kindergarten teacher leading all her little children through the hall.
You're leading the blind.
Yeah.
And the caller then leads them once again through the obstacle course to the other side of the map, the arena, whatever you want to call it, where they pick one pair to unlock and complete a puzzle. First to complete their puzzle.
The caller cannot touch the puzzle. They can only describe it and give directions to the people that they're telling.
Want to know what you're playing for? 4 chickens to start off with.
Look at all those chickens.
And 1 chicken for second place as well.
It was kind of funny. It was like the 4 chickens and then a smaller crate.
Poor son of a bitch
with
is
the
just like there and like he's not even going to die with a friend, you know. He's already fucked.
Aww,
feel bad for that
sad.
guy.
I mean, he could be laying it, or she could be laying eggs.
I'm going to go with notes by tribe, and then we'll get to, I guess, like the end, the finale of all of this. Sela.
I don't even know if we have to do all that.
Well, I have a couple notes for each one.
Okay.
Kamilla is the caller for Sela. She uses her hands to frame the shot so that she can like line them up exactly and give them the best directions possible.
She's got her left, right.
It's kind of amazing.
Out.
So she's almost playing it like a video game.
Yeah, she is.
And then Chrissy is the caller for Kahlo.
She has her hand in like a cone shape, but she has the pinky out, and she's yelling at people like this.
She's like trying to amplify her voice.
It's giving like Heidi Klum on America's Got Talent. When she watches people perform, she puts her hands around her eyes and goes like this, as if this actually helps. I'm like, Chrissy, maybe if you're going like this and like cupping your whole like mouth and face, but the one hand with the pinky out, I don't know if that's amplifying your voice.
And then Christian is calling out almost like a drill instructor. He actually has like a cadence and a rhythm to his guidance for his
But
tribe.
my issue with Christian is that he's so technically brained that I feel like he's going to get caught up in semantics, and the other people on his tribe who are listening to him call are also going to get caught up in semantics.
I think that's a good point. And just a couple notes that I have during like the actual, like the split version of this challenge. Rizzo gets bonked on the head by a ring as he throws it up and over a pole.
The bonk count is Rizzo. And then Colby hits his noggin too.
Colby smacks his head on a log as Chrissy is the line leader, actually.
Right before that happened, and you can mark my words, we were watching the episode, and I go, I haven't gotten a knocked boggin. Oh my God, can't even say knocked boggin. A bonked noggin in a while. And then Colby just hits his head on that like piece of wood.
It's a good sound.
Beautiful.
I'm always like a little just like, hope that they aren't fucked for the entire game.
Well, yeah.
Especially with like Kyle leaving so early.
But I knew he was fine because Jeff didn't give a shit. He goes, this is Survivor. You're going to get a little bloody.
And
I'm
like, we all started laughing.
Oh my God, bloody? We're talking concussion. I don't know. That's not maybe blood.
Joe struggles to get the rings up and over the pole. Maybe if he had a little more honor and integrity, it would he would be able to go the distance. Yeah. And then we get to the puzzle. For Kahlo, it's Coach and Genevieve. For Vatu, it's Ozzy and Coach. And for Sela, it is Charlie and Rizzo. On the Vatu tribe, Ozzy and Coach cannot get in sync with Christian.
Well, they're turning it, and Christian is saying twist it.
Right. And,
semantics.
And you made a point, actually, about how Christian he seems always very deliberate with the words that he uses.
Yeah.
And that might be to his disadvantage here, where he's getting like a little too in the weeds with like very specific terminology instead of more universally used terms.
Right. They want to know what it is quickly, and you can keep adjusting from there. Go to your left a little more, not rotate exactly 32 degrees and position yourself to where you feel the wind gust on your upper left cheek. And you're like, what?
Yeah, I think that's where he gets tripped up. And it just also like they can't fucking figure it out. So and also that was Ozzy and I think I said Ozzy and Coach. I think I meant to say Ozzy and Q. So Kamilla is directing this puzzle a fucking pro.
We got Killa Kamilla up there on that podium calling, and she has dominated this whole challenge. The caller in this challenge, so nerve-wracking to be that person because you're either going to make or break it. And Kamilla is the puzzle queen, and she knows what she's got to do, and she gets her team to victory in an absolute blowout.
Right. They win by a mile, and it is, I would say, 100% thanks to Kamilla.
Oh, yeah.
Then Kahlo comes up next, and Vatu never really even gets their puzzle going, which is unfortunate, mostly for Christian.
Christian had a blowout in a different kind of way this episode.
So, like, Christian is having a bad fucking day because Emily basically ruined his entire game, and he feels he's responsible.
At the epicenter of the loss.
For the loss, sending his tribe to tribal. They also lose their flint here.
He probably thought the previous day was the worst day he could have on Survivor, shitting himself, but now it's just, nah.
And he's probably walking home, just, one day my son's going to see this.
But it's a little more sadder of a tone.
We go back to the Vatu camp, and Christian is obviously very ashamed after the challenge, and he announces, I'm not pushing for any votes. I'm going to sit back. I'm going to follow. I'm going to go with the flow on this one. I don't deserve any authority, basically, which is a very diplomatic way to go about it. I feel like there's a balance, a delicate balance between like admitting faults and like pity party. Mm-hmm. And I think that he does it pretty well because obviously you do want to admit fault. You want to take ownership of something so that you don't come across as like an asshole, but also you don't want to get too sad with it because then I think it's like, oh, shut the fuck up, dude. You know what I mean?
Now we're here. That happened in the past. It happened 15 minutes ago, which feels like a year ago at this point. We need to vote someone out. How is this going to happen, and right? Let's get down to business.
He tells Q and Steph that he is down to vote Angelina with them.
But if I'm Christian, right, and I'm looking at the lay of the land of this new tribe, because Ozzy could be a potential here as well because he wasn't necessarily working with him in the last tribe. And if you want to really keep Cirie closer, you maybe don't want Ozzy. But however, I am going to argue that if you're Christian, you maybe want to keep Ozzy because I alluded earlier of this like kind of mega alliance that again, Christian is at the epicenter of. So Christian has his Emily, Cirie, and Devon's, right? And Devon's really seems to be his number one. So he has that. And then he also has his David and Goliath alliance, potentially with Mike and Angelina. And oh, guess what? You also gifted the idol to Aubrey. So you have her in as well. And now Aubrey's linked tight with Tiff. So Tiff's in the fold too.
That's over a third of the entire cast.
Yeah, you're kind of just collecting people.
Yeah,
you're really collecting impressive. People. And he is padded in so many different ways that, yeah, if there is a split with Mike and Angelina and then like Cirie and Devon's and Emily or whatever, like he doesn't really need one particular group over the other, but he has a lot of options and they're all kind of in a way working together right now. So if I'm Christian, I'm maybe wanting to keep Ozzy because of his relationship with Cirie and because of my relationship with Cirie and our foursome that you're trying to keep together at this point with staples and hot glue.
Speaking of David and Goliath, Mike tells Q and Steph
just point blank
he will not vote against David and Goliath, and in this case he won't vote against Angelina. He tells Steph that he's going to throw away a vote and put it on her. Sorry,
Steph. And he tells her this in front of Q and Ozzy as well. So he doesn't really care who hears. He's like, yeah, Stephanie, I am going to vote for you.
And it's because Mike knows he's sitting pretty good right now.
Yeah.
He goes to Emily and immediately tells her, I was bluffing with Steph. I want us all to vote Q tonight.
Right. Because he has a six-pack and a big dick, and he's dictating what's happening on the tribe.
Something he doesn't have, though, is a vote, which we are reminded of in this pre-tribal scene. Q lost his vote at, I believe it was the supply challenge
After
and
exile.
the trade,
Remember?
right?
Ozzy
where
got his
got
extra
the vote.
vote.
He got the supply. So Q doesn't have a vote here. Yeah, we do get a reminder as well that Angelina loves Mike. She was cast in White Lotus. You called that when we introduced this season, that gives
when
him
the cast dropped, I was like,
incredible
why is
power.
Mike here? Mike knows everyone.
But hang on, isn't it kind of a really cool little pocket of gameplay that he has that no one else does? It's not necessarily a game-winning advantage.
How about you
but
ask Jenna? How about you ask Jenna about how cool that is?
True. Fair. Mike goes to Q about voting Steph. Q tells Mike to throw a vote on him instead. He says he's trying to do the noble thing and protect Stephanie, his ally. So he says, no, put it on me instead. And then he goes even further to say, I'm sitting good. I have an extra vote.
Yeah, he's like laying it on thick with Mike.
Yes.
But something interesting about Q, the reason Q decides to throw his name out there and try to protect Stephanie is because the only person that can vote out Q's number one is Q. And apparently the only person that can orchestrate Q going home is also Q.
Yeah.
What is happening?
Dude, and we've talked about this, like historically Q is also a little squirrely.
Yeah.
He's a little chaotic and all over the place. And boy, do we see that in full force in this particular moment.
We see Q and Emily in their absolute truest forms in this episode when they link up on the same tribe together. And we have, Mike saying that the real target is Q. And that's where it's looking right now.
And boldly enough, Emily goes to Ozzy, even though they would have the majority here. Emily goes to Ozzy about voting Q and then saving Angelina for next time. So she's still kind of playing into that angle. And Ozzy here says, no, I don't want to send a physical player home. I want to win immunity. He's lost 3 immunity challenges in a row. He's tired of that. I want some physicality to protect us. And I also want to break up the majority alliance, David and Goliath.
And Emily's kind of coming in there being like, I think we want to go Q tonight, bro. And I'm trying to pull you in and have us be on the same page because I want to work with you, Ozzy, which is a good move for Emily because Emily needs all the friends she can get right now, especially the most she's running her yap right now. But I want to point out too that the kind of fish metaphor that I used in a previous episode that we did, where like someone has an idea and it's Mike's idea is like, I'm gonna vote out Stephanie, right? But he's chopping his own idea, like, no, I'm gonna vote out actually Q. And then Q's pretending to come in there being like, oh no, I'm gonna throw my name out there. So like, I'm like, my idea is gonna be better and I'm gonna put one over on Mike because I'm gonna tell Mike I have an extra vote when really I have no vote. But then Mike comes back again and like chomps the whole idea. It's like, no, we're all doing Q tonight and Q's gonna be the one that goes home. So all these like competing strategies and thoughts and opinions, and it just they keep one-upping each other every other cut we get.
And this is the Survivor 50 that Jeff wanted.
Yes,
so
absolutely
where it may lack in originality of challenges, our decisions and how we're announcing a tribe switch, whatever it may be, it's making up for in these incredibly layered tribe strategy dynamics going into a vote, which we're deeply appreciative of. Before we go to commercial, we have Emily telling the camera, I'm the swing vote tonight, and it could go a couple different ways. I wrote down in that moment, there's no chance Emily goes Angelina. She owes it to Christian, and she knows that.
Yeah. She kind of also owes it to Angelina now, too.
Yeah,
after having that heart-to-heart and telling her everything, and then, telling her all this information just to, like, be like, I'm going to get you out anyways, but I just wanted you to know.
As we go into Tribal, so Ozzy is seeing it for the 3rd time.
And Jeff so eloquently calls him winless.
Dude, Jeff calls him out in such a brutal way.
This is the 2nd tribal in a row. Jeff's kind of coming for Ozzy. What's happening?
I wonder why. Maybe is Ozzy in talks with another show and he's kind of pissed about it?
Maybe Ozzy is too much Survivor and Jeff's like, no, I am Survivor. You sit down, Ozzy boy. I am the reason that you can run.
Again, I would love more history in this moment. Like, we take a dig at Ozzy for being winless, and Jeff kind of walks it back to like explain where he's going with it. Give me a sizzle reel of him being voted out. Give me a couple reasons why his game always ends.
Or
like,
give
again,
me-
it's all public knowledge, so you're not jeopardizing his current game if you're referencing shit that happened in the past. And then just give me a little clip. I think that would make Tribal so much more interesting.
Right. I completely agree. And for someone who hasn't seen Ozzy seasons, you're just kind of taking Jeff for his word. And obviously, as last Tribal, we saw his word isn't 100% accurate because apparently everyone loved Savannah. And Ozzy said that he blew the entire challenge last time, which both of those things are not true.
The only other note I had about Tribal was, because we didn't spend too much time on this last episode, no one notices the fake idol that Devins hid. And
No,
I just
why would
I
you?
wanted to ask, what's a possible scenario of someone finding the fake idol?
Not. I don't think there is one.
You don't think that
I don't
anyone's
think
going to
there
see
is
it?
one. If he put it in an angle that no one can really see it, that is his for whenever he wants to have some big fanfare moment. Because guess what? You can hide an idol around camp. You can dig a hole, put the idol in there, put it up in a tree, whatever, because you don't want someone going through your bag. But you know where people aren't going to be snooping around? Tribal. You know where you can always guarantee that you're going to have your idol? Tribal.
You know what's very possible because of these new tribes? Who was flashing around wacky idol bits at Tribal last season? Rizzo. Who's on Rizzo's tribe right now? Rick Devins. Who's at the bottom of that tribe? Rizzo. And it's very possible that we could see Rizzo go home in the same Tribal that Devins pulls off what Rizzo was trying to do the entirety of season 49.
Because if you look at Rizzo's game in 49 and compare it to Devin's game, it's like little kid trying to...
And it's like admirable.
It
like,
is.
He wants to do the thing.
It is. He wants to do it. But guess what? You are with a group of people who have already done it and are very good at doing it.
Right.
So, so who had the good idea to vote Q out this episode? Q!
Yeah, shout out Q.
Sucks.
Gonna so the vote goes like this. There is
Fashionista is no more.
one vote, and I like Q. Like,
Oh no, I
think
love
he's
Q.
really fun to watch.
I love watching Q.
It was
It's a bummer he's out
watching
this
go.
early. Absolutely.
There's one vote on Angelina, which is Steph, and then there are 4 votes on Q.
Eat shit, Stephanie.
To
Her
send
position
him-
in the tribe is so bad right now, and
Right.
I love to see it.
4 votes on Q to send him home. And those votes end up being 5 total. Mike, Emily, Christian, Ozzy, and Angelina. Steph is on the wrongest side of the vote here.
I sad for me to see Q go, but also happy for me because it means that Stephanie is in a worse position. And that's what we want because remember, Stephanie is not a good person.
Here's
You
where
can
it
do
can
your
get
own
interesting,
research if
though.
you haven't heard.
As I mentioned earlier, Steph knows something that some of them don't. She knows that Ozzy has an idol, and Steph is at the very bottom of Vatu now. And so I wonder if next week we see Stephanie try to leverage that information with someone like Christian or Mike, these more leaders in this majority alliance now, to try and stay out of the vote next time around.
And because it's the boomerang idol, Ozzy cannot gift it to someone. He has to use it on himself or go home with it in his pocket like he is so comfortable with doing.
But you know who she should go to is Emily. Because if Emily catches wind that Ozzy has an idol in his pocket, it's right back on. She is right back on Ozzy. So I think we're just talking game. Yeah, Stephanie kind of sucks, but this is how she saves herself. If she plays her cards right and she goes to Emily about Ozzy's idol.
And she says, I want to flush the idol. Let's do it. We either get him to play it and someone else of our choosing goes home, Angelina, whatever, or we get him and we send him home with the idol in his pocket.
You think she has it in her? I think she does. It's possible.
I
See.
don't want it to be in her, so I'm going to say no.
But it would make for a good episode. Let's go to the 3 pillars before we close out. We don't have best ass this week. Maybe next week.
Nah.
We'll that'll be kind of a come as you please. But let's start with outwit. Has to be Q, right? Orchestrating his own vote.
Outwitted himself right out of the game. No, it's not. It's Christian.
Is this the third week in a row for Christian?
We've
definitely been dropping him a couple of times for outwit. You're right. Christian plots with Devins right before the switch to unite this core alliance with Aubrey's idol and bring in Emily and Cirie. And then what does he point out?
He orchestrates it in a way that Devins owns it, so it further protects himself. So he has two things going for him in the same strategy instance, right? And then, ultimately manipulating Devins into being okay with it. And then he also keeps his cool with Emily.
Yeah.
When she unspirals his whole fucking genius plan.
And I think that is outwit because that is a brain moment. It's a center myself. How do we get out of this in a gameplay mode? There's no reason to yell and scream at Emily. There's no reason to turn on her, even though they could.
That's what I was going to say. Someone could very easily could have been in his shoes and been like, oh, Emily's squirrely. She's fucking up my game. We got to get her out. And I would be damned if everyone on that tribe would have been happy to vote Emily out. But she stayed, I think, because Christian reeled her back in, was like, let's be an alliance still. Get your shit together, girl. Come join me with my David and Goliath alliance right now, and we will run this tribe, and then we will run it together once we're all linked back up with our other people once we make the merge.
Outplay. You want to say it on 3?
Yeah.
Who do you have? 1, 2, 3.
Kamilla.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, baby.
Dude.
She absolutely crushed that challenge. I love to see her win. She's a brilliant player, and single-handedly won an immunity challenge.
She directs the hell out of that entire challenge, and she should be celebrated as honestly the sole winner in this moment.
Absolutely.
So really, really great moment.
There was a lot of weight on her shoulders, and she absolutely performed.
And outplay doesn't necessarily have to be a physical game.
No.
It depends on the episode, right? And this is a great example of how you can outplay without being a physical player. And then Outlast, we threw around a couple different ideas. It's been Ozzy for a little while now because he's been narrowly escaping the crosshairs, but instead it goes to
Michael Thie.
Six-pack Mike White Lotus's own. His social game is top notch. His social game, I think, is the best in the entire show right now.
On paper, like we mentioned before, he could have gone home as being the only one from the previous tribe, his previous tribe in this new tribe, right? Easy pickings for people to just not want to be the one to go home, right? No, he's like, I know Ozzy. He served me. He was a manager at my favorite restaurant. Yeah. And Angelina, I know her because she was on my season of, I got her on my show of White Lotus, and she was on my old Survivor show, and so was Christian. And
he buys safety just by knowing people. He doesn't even have to. You see, we see Genevieve walking around kind of promising people things. We see other folk, we see, Cirie and Devins kind of have to lock in.
It's like the Tony Soprano of this season.
He just fucking knows people,
yes.
And that's enough to make him the quote unquote odd man out, be potentially on top of this whole tribe right now.
And again, all of these people want to be on the next season of White Lotus.
It's pretty
amazing.
amazing.
Let's not screw Mike over.
Yeah.
Let's be Mike's friend.
Those are our 3 pillars, and we will have that featured every week on Backdoors and Blindsides as we continue to recap Survivor 50. Check us out on Instagram at Backdoors and Blindsides, and our full video episodes on our YouTube channel. And if you don't already, subscribe and turn on those automatic downloads. We love when you have automatic downloads on for our show. So do that. Really appreciate everyone's praise of this season of our podcast already coming in. Never hurts to send a nice message either, I'll just say. But until next time, we came in.
We dug deep.
And we'll always have something for you, because that's how you do it on Backdoors and Blindsides.